you've said at some point that in the early days when you started out in Bombay, Mumbai, you went through tough times. And you said at one point that I'm going to own this city one day. Okay, today when you're in a situation where you could easily say, yes, I do own this city, in whatever way you want to interpret owning a city, do you feel that without that hunger, it is really difficult to come to where you are?
Yeah, I think there are a few things I like to tell youngsters, because I tell that to my kids in a nice way, without stressing it or stressing them out. I think it's important if you're young to be hungry for knowledge, for work, for excellence in your profession or job or studies. It's important. I think hunger is an important aspect of life. The second most important aspect is that one should think of losing as not being an option. Because anyways, there are going to be forces, things, life itself makes you lose very often. But if you can in your mind start believing losing is not an option, at least you can delay the losing. It's inevitable. I mean, finally you lose life. It's inevitable that you will ever be able to win over life. You can't, but you may be able to delay it a bit by thinking like that. I said that I'd like to own Mumbai, and I said it in a very good way, because I didn't have a house here. I was sleeping on the roads and things like that. But by the time I thought I could own Mumbai, you realize life takes a full circle around, and you find Mumbai owns me. It's not the other way around anymore, and it's not important. Priorities, thoughts, beliefs change. There is no contradiction. A lot of people turn around and say, but you're so contradictory. But that's how life is. I find it very strange when people meet me and they say that, you're always contradicting yourself. Yes, I think one thing one day, I believe one thing the other.
Is that because at the end of the day, we are all work in progress, isn't it?
Yeah, we are all actually fluid. We are all, turning into other beings as we go along from the age of 5 onwards to whichever lifespan we have. We are all obviously always we are in transition. We are always changing. We are metamorphosing. How do you say
metamorphosing? I think.
Whatever. Okay, we are morphing. Whatever. But we are just always going in a constant change. We are changing. We are organic, to use a more pseudo term. But the idea is, and that's what it is. I mean, you have to keep changing. You'll find new things to say, do, and things which will work for you. Different things at different times.
Would you say that the hunger is less if you get things a bit easy? For instance, would your kids won't have the kind of hunger that you had to succeed?
I don't know. This is a little hypothetical, but maybe yes, they'll be less hungry than I was. I think the disadvantage of having everything in life is that you don't realize how nice life can be when you achieve it and find things which you did not have, like I did. Maybe it's even nicer that you have everything and you continue having everything. So I wouldn't know that. Without sounding pompous, the kind of status I have achieved in the last 15-20 years, with hoardings screaming out from every nook and corner of a city. There is a brand name, XYZ. I just pray that my children get out of the shadow of this image as quickly as possible. They are not affected. If they can't get out, at least they are not affected adversely by the fact that I happen to be a famous movie star. It's a strange thing to say. I hope my children respect, love, understand me more than the image that I've created of myself. As much as I may like them to be middle class kids like I was,
how is that possible?
It will be difficult to attain. It will be difficult to attain. But I think in sense of education and training them in sports and just about thoughts, I can control it, and the only way to control it for any parent is to try and spend as much time as they can with the kids.
Your parents gave you a great education and a set of values. Would you say that that's exactly what you came armed with?
Yes, I think.
Or qualified with?
I think a good set of values by my dad and my mom. Educated couple, both working people, and in a certain sense, both with a great sense of humor. So that helped, and of course the fact that they didn't stay long enough with me. Then you had to stand up on your feet, and somewhere down the line, I guess that helped, as sad as it may sound. But I don't want to give that kind of help to my kids. I want to make sure I give them great education, I give them good values, and I live with them so they get sick of me.